In today's video, we're going to talk about titles and subtitles for your books. Hello home bosses, my name is Nuria Corby from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online with self-publishing. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about something that's crucial for the success of your books, and that is creating a really good title and subtitle. With Amazon cracking down on misleading and repetitive titles, it's more important than ever to get this right. And I think that some of you are still a little bit unclear on how to write a good title and what to write in the subtitle without repeating any words. So I think it's crucial, it's really important that we get this right. So let's dive in and have a look, and I'll show you how I would craft a title and subtitle for my books, and hopefully this will help you with your books as well. So let's dive in and learn how to create titles and subtitles that follow Amazon guidelines and also attract buyers to your books. First of all, let's talk about Amazon's guidelines for titles and subtitles. They want to ensure that customers have a clear understanding of what they're purchasing, so misleading or repetitive titles can lead to your book being flagged or even removed. Here are the rules you need to follow. Number 1, avoid using repetitive words or phrases in your title and subtitle. Number 2, do not include promotional elements like bestseller or free in the title or subtitle. Number 3, do not use keyword stuffing or a list of unrelated keywords in your title or subtitle. Number 4, make sure your title and subtitle accurately represent the content of your book. So now you know the guidelines. Let's move on to crafting your book title and subtitle. The title of your book is the first thing potential readers will see, so it's essential to make a strong impression. And here are some tips, first of all, to help you create a compelling title. First tip is keep it simple and memorable. Aim for a title that is easy to remember and pronounce. Shorter titles are generally more effective. Number 2, be specific and clear. Your title should give readers a clear idea of what your book is about. Avoid being too vague or cryptic. Number 3, evoke emotion or curiosity. A great title can spark interest and encourage readers to find out more about your book. And number 4, test your title. Run your potential title by friends, family, or your target audience to get feedback and find its effectiveness. But what about the subtitle? A well-crafted subtitle can help clarify your book's content and make it more appealing to readers. So here are some tips for creating an effective subtitle. Number 1, expand on your title. Your subtitle should provide additional information about your book's content or theme that isn't covered in the title. Number 2, target your audience. Use your subtitle to appeal to your target readers by mentioning the benefits they'll gain or the problems they'll solve by reading your book. Number 3, be concise and informative. Your subtitle should be a short, informative phrase that adds value to your title. Number 4, use relevant keywords. Incorporate important keywords related to your book's content, but avoid keyword stuffing. This can help with discoverability and search rankings on Amazon. So let's just have a look at some examples of titles and subtitles that people have used on Amazon, and I'll tell you what's right and what's wrong with them. So first of all, I've typed in mileage logbook into Amazon because I think a lot of people are struggling with things like that, because mileage logbook is really what the book is. It shouldn't necessarily be the title. So if we have a look at the first one here, mileage logbook, mileage record organizer for women, mileage logbook for business, floral cover. Now that title is not very good, and Amazon are very clear about repetition. So I'm very surprised that this book has gone through the review process. Then again, I'm not very surprised because there are lots and lots of books that have the wrong titles. And personally, I've made that mistake as well. So don't think that I don't make mistakes. I do make mistakes, and that's how I've learned. And now I create my titles in a very different way. I remember when I first started, I used to look on Amazon and see what other people were doing. And then I used to just copy what they were doing. And if I saw a title like this, I would have probably crafted my title and subtitle in a very similar way to this. But I know now that this is wrong, because you can see here mileage logbook is not really the title. This is what the book is. It's a mileage logbook. And in my view, or in my opinion, that really belongs in the subtitle. The other thing is they've repeated the word mileage 3 times. Mileage logbook, mileage record, mileage logbook again. And the word logbook is repeated. So a lot of repetition. And I think this just doesn't read well as a title. It just doesn't, if someone says to you, what book did you buy? And you say, I bought mileage logbook, mileage record organizer for women, mileage logbook for business floral cover. That just doesn't sound very good. It's like, imagine a famous book like The Great Gatsby, and someone said, oh, what book did you buy? And if they had named their title something different instead of The Great Gatsby, if they had structured the title in the way that this person has structured their title, The Great Gatsby would be called Fictional Jazz Age Tale, Roaring Twenties, Jazz Age Love Triangle, Wealth Parties, American Dream, Flappers, New York Tragedy. Because they would have just keyword stuffed that book, and the name of the book is just The Great Gatsby, and that's what people remember. They would never remember a long title like that. And this is the same with these kind of titles. They're just wrong. Don't create your titles in this way, because it's not the correct way to do it. Let's have a look at another example. Now this one is better. Vehicle mileage logbook, journal for car taxes and expenses, or business cute and simple notebook. It's better, but it's still wrong because first of all, it's called vehicle mileage logbook. It's okay, but this could be so much better. This could be much more intriguing and getting more attention. And then they go on to say journal for car taxes and expenses, or business. So this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound like proper English. Journal for car taxes and expenses, or business, cute and simple notebook. First of all, there's nothing cute about this. It's just not cute. That's the wrong word to use. And it's not a notebook because it's a mileage logbook. So why call it a notebook? And they've also called it a journal. You can't call something a logbook, a journal, and a notebook. It can't be 3 things. It's like calling a coloring book a journal or a notebook. It's not correct. It's either a notebook, or it's a journal, or it's a logbook. You definitely can't have all 3 in one title. So that is not a good title either. Let's have a look and see if there's another one. Mileage logbook. Okay, very unimaginative. Glove compartment logbook for keeping track of work-related vehicle mileage for tax purposes or employer reimbursement. That's a really long subtitle. And again, keep them short. This is not something that somebody can remember. If you ask me, what book did you buy? I would just say mileage logbook. I can't remember this subtitle. That's the wrong way to create a subtitle. So again, this is really keyword stuffed. If anything, the one thing I like about it is that it's giving information like it's a glove compartment logbook. So we know it can fit in a glove compartment. And it tells you what it's for. It's for keeping track of work-related vehicle mileage for tax purposes or employer reimbursement. So in a way, this isn't too bad because it tells you what the logbook is for. So it's not ideal, but it's better than the repetition we had before. Here's another one that's calling it a cute, simple notebook. Why is a mileage logbook cute? It's nothing to do with cute. There is no cute picture and it's not a cute subject. So I think calling it cute is just wrong, and it's misleading because it's not cute. There's another one here which has made a great big mistake. Shift, log and mileage book for truck drivers. I mean, the title isn't too bad. But then it says mileage and hours logbook for truckers, lorry drivers and delivery employees, professional dark black leather cover design. Now, first of all, it's not leather because paperback books are paper. So this is very misleading. I'm very surprised Amazon hasn't spotted this. But when Amazon do reviews of their books, they might see this, and I think if it's just one mistake that you make, you're probably okay, and Amazon will just let you know and ask you to change this. But if you keep making mistakes like this is definitely putting your account at risk. So you really don't want to do that. So how would I construct a title and subtitle for a mileage logbook? Well, I would call it something a little bit more interesting. So, for example, you could call the title Efficient Mileage Tracker, and then the subtitle could be a comprehensive logbook for monitoring business and personal travel. Or you could call it as a title Mileage Master Logbook, and then the subtitle Streamlined Travel Record Keeping for Tax Deductions and Reimbursements. Even that is kind of long, and I prefer shorter titles, but sometimes when it's something like a mileage logbook and you're trying to explain what it is, sometimes the titles or the subtitles do become a little bit longer. But you can see there's no keyword stuffing and there's no repetition. And another example would be Road Warriors Mileage Journal, an organized log for tracking business and personal vehicle expenses, or Drive Smart Mileage Log, a user-friendly travel logbook for accurate distance and expense tracking. So those examples are clear, concise, and informative, and they adhere to Amazon's guidelines while also capturing buyers' attention by emphasizing the benefits and purposes of the mileage logbooks. So let's have a look at planners and see what we can find on Amazon. There's an example here. Chaos Coordinator, undated appointment book with 2020-2021 calendar, hourly schedule with 30-minute intervals, floral dark glitter, and it's so long it doesn't even fit here. So I think the title is good, Chaos Coordinator. It doesn't tell you what this is. It's just a title, and it's catchy and it gets my attention. So I like the title, but then the subtitle is a little bit too long. Undated appointment book with 2020-2021 calendar, hourly schedule with 30-minute intervals. I think it should have stopped there, or it could have been done even shorter. We'll have a look later at some examples, but at least the title is okay. This one here has got a really long title. They've got the same Chaos Coordinator title, and this is another thing. If you see a book on Amazon that has a title like this, don't copy it, because it just doesn't look good when a book has got a certain title and then another book has the same title and so on. I mean, I would not do that. I would call it something different. Unless it's something like a notebook or a journal. It doesn't matter if you call it composition notebook and you call all of them composition notebook, because that is just a generic book and there's not much of a title you can give to a composition notebook. So there are exceptions, but we're talking about titles for other types of books where the books are a little bit less generic and more unique. This one has a very short title, and the title is 2023. I think that's quite clever in a way. I wouldn't personally do that, but at least it's short. And then it's got weekly planner, week to view, 6x9 dated agenda. This is wrong. I know what they're trying to say. They're saying it's 6x9 inches. First of all, Amazon don't want you to put those details in the title or subtitle, because those details are in the description or in the product details. So you don't put the size of your book in your title. I wouldn't even put the color or anything like that, because people can see what the design is. They know if it's a floral design, or they know if it's a red cover or blue cover. There's no reason to have that in the title. So here are some interesting ones. There's a writing planner, undated gold and green floral writing journal with monthly and weekly planner. There is repetition. Again, writing planner is okay as a title, but I would call it something different. And I'll tell you in a minute what I would do with something like this. And then the subtitle says undated gold and green floral writing journal. Is it a planner or is it a writing journal? So it's one or the other. Don't have both. And I also don't think that you need to describe the look of it, because we can see that it's a gold and green floral book cover. And if I had to give this a title, so they have created a writing planner, which I assume is for writers. So I would call it something like Write Flow Planner as the title. And in the subtitle, I would say an undated monthly and weekly organizer for aspiring and professional writers. So that makes more sense than this title. Another example I could give you is you could call it Creative Wordsmith Planner, and the subtitle would be Undated Monthly and Weekly Agenda for Organized and Inspired Writing. Or you could call it Pencraft Writer's Planner, Flexible Undated Planning System for Balancing Writing Goals and Daily Life, or call it a Storyline Scheduler, a comprehensive undated planner for managing writing projects and deadlines. So that instantly makes it much more interesting sounding than this kind of title. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of an example of how I would write my titles. And let me know if you have any questions on this. I think that the main thing is not to keyword stuff your titles. It's like naming a baby or naming a child. You give it a name that doesn't really tell you what it is exactly. It's a little bit like if you imagine the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone book, for example. This is just an example, but if somebody was writing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and they chose this type of title, they would probably call it something like Magic School Adventure, and then Philosopher's Stone, Wizard, Spells, Hogwarts, Fantasy, Sorcerer, Quidditch, Voldemort. They would keyword stuff it. This would never sell if the Harry Potter books were titled like that. So those kind of titles are just packed with keywords that are related to the content, but it comes across as spammy and unprofessional. And it also violates Amazon's guidelines by using repetitive and unrelated keywords. And it doesn't provide a clear and concise representation of the book's content either. So the way you create your title is you give your book a name, and it's not exactly saying what it is. It's not calling it logbook or not calling it coloring book, or you don't just call it activity book. Give it a title, give it a name, give it something interesting. So if you had a coloring book, for example, call it Enchanted Gardens Coloring Book. Don't just call it coloring book. If you have an activity book, don't call it activity book for 5-year-olds. Call it something like Brain Boosting Puzzles. Or if you're writing a gratitude journal, don't just call it gratitude journal. Call it Thankful Moments Journal or something like that. And then the subtitle is describing a little bit more. With our coloring book example, you could call it Relax and Unwind with Beautiful Floral Designs and Patterns for Adults. With the activity book, you could call it a collection of entertaining challenges for adults to sharpen the mind. And the gratitude journal would be a daily guided practice for cultivating gratitude and positivity in life. And make sure that you don't copy any titles. Check that the title that you choose isn't already on Amazon. Make your titles unique. So don't copy other people's titles either. Make sure that you check that the title that you choose hasn't already been used on Amazon, and avoid repetition, and make your title and subtitle sound good. Make it sound interesting. Make it sound like it's a sentence and not just keywords strung together. And make sure that you highlight the purpose and the benefits of your book. So I hope you enjoyed that, and remember that crafting a good title and subtitle is crucial for the success of your books on Amazon KDP. By following these guidelines and tips, you'll be on your way to creating titles that not only comply with Amazon's guidelines, but that also attract buyers to your books and boost your sales. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more tips and tricks on self-publishing. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.